You're tuned into OBC TV Youth. Welcome to Olive Branch Church's Youth Jam, a place where we learn more about Jesus and each other. We're so glad that you tuned in today. Are you ready to be entertained? Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to learn more about Jesus? Let's do it now. Welcome to Youth Church here at Olive Branch, where we learn more about Jesus and each other. We're glad you've joined us today. Let's see what's happening on the vine for our youth in the vineyard. This is the week for our Saturday Zoom call. We look forward to recapping and going into further discussion about last Sunday's Youth Jam lesson. The session will begin at 11 a.m. To receive the Zoom link for the class, email vineyard@olivebranchchurch.org or contact us at 615-941-1268. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks for listening. For more information about these announcements or how to become a part of the Vineyard, please email vineyard@olivebranchchurch.org or call 615-941-1268.
We're back. Oh man, I'm excited. First of all, welcome to OBC Youth Jam. My name is Tommy G, and I'm so excited to be with you guys here this morning. Why? Because we have a new month. New month means a new series. And I know last month we talked about being a part of God's squad, and the month before that was After You. But this month, we're here talking about waitlisted. What does that mean? Being on what's waitlisted? Well, guys, the big idea is that God has a plan for all of us. It just means that we might have to wait for it, all right? And so we're gonna jump into it. I don't wanna talk too much about it, but after this song, we're gonna jump right into the lesson. So be prepared, make sure you have plenty of things to write with, or maybe have a pen and a pencil, and just have something to write it down with. If you're using your phone, then that's cool, but we'll see you in a little bit. Woo.
So this is broken, I guess. And if I'm being honest, I'm over my head. The hurt rages deep inside, wave after wave like the ocean tide. I've done all I can, it's out of my hands, yeah. It's easy to forget, it's a part of the plan. There's a light up ahead, but right now I'm restless. I need you because I'm anxious. I've done all I can, it's all in your hands, yeah. When my world keeps on shaking and I'm breaking, when the skies won't stop raining and I'm fading, help me to be okay with what I can't change. And remind me there's meaning in the waiting. Tell me to be patient. Tell me to be patient. Don't know how long this will last. I need some reassurance that this too shall pass. I throw my hands up in the air, don't wanna be a slave to fear. I know I've gotta let go. When my world keeps on shaking and I'm breaking, when the skies won't stop raining and I'm fading, help me to be okay with what I can't change. And remind me there's meaning in the waiting. Tell me to be patient. Tell me to be patient. Tell me to be patient. Through every valley there's a mountain on the other side. It's at the bottom where you're teaching me how to climb. And though my heart may break, I know it's not in vain. I need only to be still. When my world keeps
Have you ever had to wait for something that you really, really wanted? I mean, at first it's kind of fun, right? The anticipation is building because you know that when the wait is finally over, it's going to be the best day ever. And then that day gets delayed. Now, you're a little frustrated, but you could be patient, and then it gets delayed again and again and again until finally you want to stop waiting or just give up hope altogether. Now, that's a really frustrating feeling to have, but it's one that many of us can identify with, and it's because we're waiting on God. Like Abraham and Sarah, who waited years for God to give them the son that he promised them, or the children of Israel, who waited even longer for God to save them. Now, here's the message that you and I sometimes need to hear. God has a plan, but we might have to wait for it.
Woo! What it do? What it do? We're back. Yes, with a new month. I'm fired up and excited, man. Anyways, of course, my name is Tommy G, and man, we're here. We did it. And so, look, like I said before, the big idea, what we're gonna be talking about, is that God has a plan for us, but we might have to wait for it, right? And it might be something you might not want to wait for, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a little bit about that. Now, I want you to just think of, or just write it down. If you have your paper and you have something to write with, I want you to write down, what is something that you hate waiting for? What is that thing you hate waiting for, right? And so I'll just list a few things that I hate waiting for, if that's cool with you. I ain't gonna lie, I hate waiting at the amusement park or the theme park, whatever you want to call it. I hate waiting in long lines for a ride that's only gonna last 1 minute, right? Right? You wait in line for like 2 hours. Okay, it's kind of cool because you see, like me and my girl, whenever we go to the theme park, we people watch, so we like seeing a lot of weird things. And I'm like, oh, look at that guy, oh, look at that lady, man. And we're talking like, man, these kids are not listening to these people. Or we love when there's like I don't know if you guys walk through sometimes and it's really hot, and then those little misty fans that be blowing those mist, the water and stuff. Sometimes me and my girl just stand there and say, this is the best part of the ride, right? And so I hate that. I ain't gonna lie, I hate waiting for that. And I don't know about you, concert tickets. If anybody had to wait to buy concert tickets, that is the worst. For me, I had to wait. I hate doing that. A quick example, I remember I wanted to buy some Beyonce tickets. I wanted to surprise my baby girl for her birthday, right? It was a while ago, a little bit ago. And I thought I was gonna stay up. I prepared myself. Okay, at midnight, the tickets will go online. It's gonna go live. I got it. So I ended up going, doing my thing, and I fell asleep. But I heard the alarm last minute. I woke up panicking. It's 12:05 though, 12:05. It went live at midnight, and at 12:05, 5 minutes later, I woke up, went on the site, everything was sold out. Right? I hate that. How about you guys? Anyone else hate the typing icon? Those little ... When you send someone a message and then you have to wait for it. I know I put people in the ... all the time. It's not that I don't want to respond. I just got stuff to do. You know what I mean? That's just me. But I know for a lot of times people don't like that. Some people don't like waiting for graduation. Some people don't even like waiting for a vacation. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get all antsy. But I don't want you to take my word for it. I really want to get into the word. I want to dive in because there's a specific couple in the Bible that God promised them something, and they had to wait. They had to wait for God's promise. And this story helped me because I needed some, like I'm telling you, I love coming every week and actually giving you guys the message because I have to internalize this first before I come here and share it with you. I have to receive something in it first. If I don't, why would I share it with you, right? And so let's jump right into it. I don't want you to take my word for it. Let's jump right in. So we're going to break it down. We're going to go through Genesis 12, 1 through 3, and then we're going to jump to Genesis 15, 1 through 6, and then Genesis 16, 1 through 6, okay? Real quick, we're going to start off with Genesis 12, 1 through 3, and just read on the screen as I read. Now, verse 1, the Lord said to Abram, "Leave your land, your family, and your father's household for the land that I will show you." Right? Verse 2, "I will make of you a great nation and will bless you. I will make your name respected and you will be a blessing." Verse 3, I will bless those who bless you, and those who curse you I will curse. All the families of the earth will be blessed because of you. Whew. Verse 15, right? We're jumping to chapter 15, Genesis 15, 1 through 6. Verse 1. After these events, the Lord's word came to Abram in a vision. Don't be afraid, Abram. I am your protector. Your reward will be very great. But Abram said, Lord God, what can you possibly give me, since I still have no children? The head of my household is Eliezer, a man from Damascus. He continued. Verse 3. He continued, since you haven't given me any children, the head of my household will be my heir. Verse 4, the Lord's word came immediately to him. This man will not be your heir. Your heir will definitely be your very own biological child. Verse 6, Abram trusted the Lord, and the Lord recognized Abram's high moral character. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, now going on to chapter 16, Genesis 16, verses 1 through 6, okay? Starting with verse 1. Sarah, Abram's wife, had not been able to have children. Since she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar, Sarah said to Abram, the Lord has kept me from giving birth, so go to my servant. Maybe she will provide me with some children. Abram did just as Sarah said. Verse 3, after Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abram's wife Sarah took her Egyptian servant Hagar and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. Verse 4, he slept with Hagar and she became pregnant. But when she realized that she was pregnant, she no longer respected her mistress. Sarah said to Abram, this is a harassment. This is your fault. I allowed you to embrace my servant, but when she realized she was pregnant, I lost her respect. Let the Lord decide who is right, you or me. Abram said to Sarah, since she's your servant, do whatever you wish to her. Whatever you wish to her. Sarah treated her harshly, and she ran away from Sarah. Woo! All right, let's bow our heads real quick. Father in heaven, Lord, thank you for the word. Lord, thank you for teaching us everything that we need to know. Today is the day where we learn how to wait patiently for the promise you have for us, Lord. You're going to teach us through this story, Lord. And Lord, please permeate the subconscious of your children, Lord. Come into their heart, Lord, so that they can impact others when they start talking, Lord. Help this message to remind them that it's not about waiting, Lord. It's about making sure you wait and work and do what you need to do in the process of waiting, Lord. And we love you, Lord. We bless you. We praise your name. Thank you, Lord. In the name of Jesus I pray. Amen. All right, jumping right in. Now, has anyone heard of this experiment? There's an experiment. It's called Stanford Marshmallow Experiment, okay? The Stanford Marshmallow Experiment was created in 1970. They started it in 1970s, right? And this experiment is about delayed gratification. All right? Delayed gratification. Now, here's the experiment, okay? I'm just going to break it down real quick because I want to get through the message. Here's what they do. There's one kid, and this kid is given a marshmallow, right? They said, you can eat this marshmallow right now, but if you wait, you'll get 2. All right? You'll get 2. So that's delayed gratification. Now, what they did is that after these kids went through the experiments, they would track them on for years, like 15, 20 years. And the reason for this is because they wanted to see what kind of decisions they made along the years. They literally wanted to see, their goal was to see if the kids who waited to have, the kids who actually waited for them to come back to get the second marshmallow, they wanted to see if those kids would actually be more successful than those kids who didn't wait and ate the marshmallow right then and there, right? And so, I ain't gonna lie. I want to know. I really want to know. Would you guys have waited for that second marshmallow? Be honest. Come on. Come on. Seriously. I know you would. I'll speak for myself. I would have ate that first marshmallow. Or I probably would have cut it in half and say, okay, well, I only ate half, so can I get half of the other one? They probably would have been like, yo, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? But that's probably what I would have done. Now, here's what's crazy. The conclusions that they came up with, as far as all the data they collected, what they realized is that something went wrong. They realized the designers of the original study, they thought they figured this whole thing out. See, when the kid was waiting for the second marshmallow, they believed that this kid was gonna have great self-control. They thought this person was gonna be so successful in life, right? But what they didn't realize is that something was very important, because many of the kids who ate the first marshmallow, this is so cool. It's not that they didn't want to wait for the second marshmallow. They just didn't believe a stranger, right? First of all, you put me in a room with this guy I've never met in my life, and he has a white coat on, and he has this scientist stuff on, whatever, his goggles, and he looks at you and say, hey, here's one marshmallow, and if you wait for me to come back, I'm gonna give you a second one. You're probably like, yo, who's this guy, right? And so I realized these kids, it wasn't a lack of patience, it was a lack of trust, right? Now, anyone who's made you, now I don't know about you, but has anyone ever made you a promise and you just felt like you had to wait for that person, or you had to wait for the person to show up, or maybe they said they were gonna spend time with you, and they didn't show up, or whatever it is, right? At first, waiting is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, waiting is cool because you're like, oh, I know I'm about to get this. All I gotta do is wait for it, right? I'm sure that's how my puppy feels. Whenever we have to give him a treat, he has to wait. And he'll literally sit there and wait because he knows he's gonna get a treat, right? It's so cool, right? Anyways, now, but what happens when the promise that we get, it gets delayed, and then it gets delayed again? The promise that we said that the person said they were gonna get, it gets delayed, and then delayed, and then you're like, yo, what happened? Right? Now, I have to tell you this story because God is amazing, man. I had to tell you the story of when I had to wait for this thing that I wanted. Now, I've been producing for a while, for a long time, and I remember when I first got my stuff, I started off with just a broken computer mic. I used to record everything for my group. I started off with I was working off of a broken laptop. Like half of it was broken off, like the screen, but I plugged it into a monitor, and that's how I made my beats. I remember borrowing people's studio monitors. I remember I used to be so confused, like, God, I help all these people. Why am I still waiting for just the studio stuff that I just wanna bless other people? Like, how come so-and-so, he's not even a real producer, and he got this? Why I gotta wait, right? I'm saying all these things in my head. And I remember specifically when we moved to the house that we have now, I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy studio monitors. I've been producing for 17 years. You know what? I need my own studio monitors, right? And this was last year during the pandemic, right? So I got in, I'm actually making these things. Something came to my head. It was like, well, you need studio panels. If you're gonna put speakers up, you need studio panels. And so I'm going up, I go to Home Depot. I buy all the things that I need. I built my studio panels, and I only built a few of them. I had enough to make 8, right? Or 8 in my room. I only put up 4. Now, here's what's interesting. I went on Facebook Market and I started looking at different speakers, and I remember I put one down and I messaged the person. I said, I can't wait to get these. I looked them up. I watched so many videos. I started dream building. I started looking at my room with the speakers in it. 1 week later, those speakers were sold. I said, oh my gosh, I told a lady I was gonna get the money. Come on, God, please, what are you doing? And then I saw another speakers, and those speakers I saw were better than the last ones I saw. Ooh, I'm getting somewhere. And so I'm looking for the speakers, and I had to wait 2 more weeks because I thought I was gonna get the money from someone, a work that I was trying to do. I never got the speakers. I got upset. And then I said, you know what? All right. They were gone. I said, okay, God, I'm gonna do it one more time. So I looked at these other speakers, and these speakers, they're like the ones I was gonna buy. One of those speakers costs more than 2 of those speakers. And so I was looking at it like, whoa, God, is this something I should look at? You know, these are way out of my budget. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna trust God. I waited this long. This is the next step up. Why would I go to the lower one if I waited this long and all the ones that I wanted, actually they left? I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And so I looked every morning. Now here's what I did. Every morning I woke up, and I remember I had this thing on my phone. I had a picture of it. I woke up and prayed every single morning. I walked and I did my devotion with God every morning. Every morning I looked at it. I said, this is my speakers. I'm preparing for this. And then 2 weeks went by, right? A thing went to my head, said, why would you want the speakers if your panel's not even finished yet? Why would you want that? And I said, you know what, Holy Spirit, you're right. I got up, and that day I finished the speakers. I finished the panels. I put all the panels up in my room. This is a true story. I'm telling you, God is amazing. And this person literally said, this was so good. This person was like, I messaged the guy. I said, hey, I know it's been a while. I've been looking at these for 2 weeks now, man. Hey, I'm actually going to have the money. It was Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to have the money by the end of the week, Friday. Can you hold these for me? And if not, I understand. He said, you know what? I was literally going to take these off today. I'll hold them for you. And he started asking me questions. He started asking me this. And I said, hey, man, let me tell you something. This is what I told him. I know this is yours. And because this is an expensive product, I know God blessed you with these. And if he blessed you with these, just know that I'm going to take care of them because this is going to be a blessing to my life. Just know that God is going to use it to bless me just as much as it blessed you. And then 6 hours went by. I didn't hear nothing from him. He hit me up, and you know what he said? He was like, hey, quick question. He said, hey, I have a quick question. Did you pray about these? I need to know, did you pray about these? Guys, he literally said, did you pray about these? I was like, yeah, I prayed about them. And this is the first time I'm telling this story to everybody. No one knows this, by the way. So, except me and my wife that was there. So, he was like, yeah, man. He literally was like, yeah. I said, yeah, I prayed about them. It's funny you said, I was praying about them for the last 2 weeks. I was just praying, I knew that God, if this was for me, God's going to make it happen. And you know what he did? He said, all right, well, let me hit you up in a little bit. So another hour went by. He said, you know what he texted me? He said, hey, man, God told me to give it to you. Literally, I heard a voice. He said, give these to you. They're yours. When do you want to meet me? You can pick them up right now. When I tell you, I was screaming in the house because I've never had studio monitors before. I knew exactly, I didn't just sit there and wait with my hands and say, woe is me. I produced so many songs for so many people who never helped me. I did so many things for everyone else, and I got to see everyone advance except me, and I had to stay there and watch. I had to wait. And when I literally was in tears. I remember I told my wife, I told her, she was like, these are yours. I remember she gave a short prayer right when I went into the room. When the guy said, hey, did you pray about these? I ran into her room and she had a client. I didn't care who was there. She said, these are yours, don't worry. And that night, it was around 10 o'clock, I pulled up to his house and I'm picking these speakers up that he finally gave me. I didn't have to pay 1 cent for them. Both speakers cost at least $1,200 each. And I didn't give 1 cent. I waited 17 years to get the speakers that I actually wanted. Did I know it was going to take that long? No. I did not know it was going to take that long. Was it worth it? Yes. I will wait all over again if I have. I'll wait another 17 years for the next thing that God is going to get. Oh, God, I know I'm saying this out loud, but please don't do that though. But no, if I have to, if it's his will, I will get it done. I will do it, right? And so here's what's cool, Abraham. I'm about to wrap this up really quick, okay? Give me 5 minutes, okay? Okay, I'm wrapping up right now. Abram was not an ordinary guy, but he had an extraordinary promise. Woo! This promise was so big, right? Abram here's what's crazy. Back in the day, they knew that in those times, if you had children, it just meant that God was a blessing to your life. It means that if your life looked like a blessing, it means that God had favor on your life. So for them, you got to understand. So the first promise was like, you're going to have a lot of children. Second promise, God told Abram, your descendants are going to be God's chosen people. But here's the biggest problem. The wife, they were really old. They were probably in their 70s or I don't know how old. They were really old. And they have not had children yet. The wife was unable to have kids. How are we going to do this? That was the problem, right? Man. And if you fast forward to verse 15, right? Or chapter 15, we learned that God asked them to move. Now, here's what's crazy. This is what I want you to understand. While they were waiting, when God gave them the promise, he didn't say, sit there and wait. He said, I need you guys to move. Pick up and move. And guess what they did? They obeyed. They picked up and they moved, right? Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking like, well, he gave them a promise, but he never gave them a timeline. And he actually never told them how long it was going to take. God doesn't need to tell you how long it's going to take. I love it. It's God's timing is actually better. Just like the story, he doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need. It's always going to be better than what you want. And then the timing that he does it in is even better, right? Now, I'm trying to figure out the fact that they became waitlisted. I'm trying to figure out what was Abram and Sarah thinking at the time. right? They had to be thinking like, God, why are you taking so long? Did I hear him correctly? You know what? I think God needs my help. And after all these years, right, Sarah got tired of waiting. She got tired of waiting on God, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to put it into my own hand. Yo, can you go ahead? I have my servant here. I'm going to go ahead and make her your wife, get her pregnant so she can have children for me. And when she saw that she was pregnant, she became resentful of the things she actually wanted. She forced her husband to do it. I'm sure he was like, come on, that's your servant. You're my wife, baby girl. I don't want to do that. I couldn't imagine my girl telling me, yo, we're going to adopt a bunch of kids. I'm good, right? But here's the thing. It didn't happen for them. And here's what's crazy. She treated her so bad. And you literally told her and forced her to do it. Now, here's what's crazy. It wasn't until 25 years later of waiting, of nothing happening. They had to move. They had to work. They had to eat. And God did something even better. He finally blessed them and gave them a son, even after they disobeyed God. Woo! Hey, guys, you know what's so cool? Grace is so cool. This is why I love grace. We get grace from God when we didn't even ask for it. We get mercy from God when we don't even deserve it. So excited. I'm done. Right? Now, when I look at this story, you know what I think about? I think of the Chinese bamboo tree, and I'm done because I want you guys to understand this illustration. The Chinese bamboo tree is so cool, and this is the end of the message. How long does it take for a Chinese bamboo tree to grow? What do you have to do for it to grow? Right? Here's what's cool. When you put a seed in the ground, the Chinese bamboo tree, you put the seed in the ground, and you got to water it. Every day, water it. Every day. Get up, water it. Let the sun do its thing. Every single day, you got to take care of it. Put the nutrients in the ground. Do what it needs to do. And you know what's crazy? You got to do this every day for 5 years. Every day for 5 years. How many of you guys will be able to plant something like God said, I want you to plant this and put it in the ground and you won't see anything for 5 years? How many of you guys will do the work? Right? And so here's a Chinese bamboo tree. You have to do it for 5 years. After 6 months, here's what's cool. You start seeing one little sprout grow up. One little sprout out of the ground. Woo! Right? After it grows out the ground, after 6 months, 8 months after that, the bamboo tree will grow to the tall. I think it's at least 80 feet in the air, but it's one of the tallest trees in its forest. But it took 5 years for it to come out the ground. Now, here's what's cool about waiting. Now, here's what's cool about other people who might see you crazy. They might think you're crazy because if there's someone that lives next to me and they see me watering something every day, they might have their plant that grew up in 2 months. Like they might have something else that grew up, it took 5 weeks to grow. They might have, and first of all, wheat grows every day, right? You have these little things that you got to cut out. They're more excited about the things that grow quickly than the thing that's going to take long and that you have to wait for. Guys, 6 months, 8 months after that, the tallest tree in the forest. What don't you get? I heard this story. It was so cool. It says, what's the difference between the guy who got $1 million or $20 million, right? In 1 year, 5 years, or in 20 years? What's the difference? There's no difference. That's what's so cool because it doesn't matter if the guy waited 1 year, 5 years, 20 years. I feel like, I know God, man, he's so cool. I feel like I'm that guy who had to wait 20 years to get what he's supposed to get. And I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting because I'm telling you, it's so much more worth it. It's so much more worth it for people to think that nothing is in the ground. Because while you think you're not growing, the root is taking place, right? Because the root has to be it has to have a strong foundation for you to be the tallest tree in the actual forest. That's why I'm so excited about waiting, man. And I'm so glad, guys, that I was able to bring this message to you. I hope you understand a little bit more about what it means to be waitlisted. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it certainly is a good thing if you wait the right way. Now, what does the waiting mean? You can wait, but you got to wait with your legs, right? I love this thing. It says, I heard this quote that says, prayer has legs. Prayer doesn't mean you pray and you wait with your hands opening. There's another quote that says, pray to God as if everything is up to him, but work like everything is up to you. Waitlisted. That's what that means. And I'm telling you, I would have never gotten those speakers. And I promise you, I believe God he has so much humor. If I did not finish those speakers, those panels, I would not get everything I needed. That's why I'm excited to actually bring that message to you. And I'm so excited. I love y'all for that, man. And so I hope you were fired up and excited to understand that waiting is not a bad thing. And so we're at the close. We're at the close, right? And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sitting here. Thank you for that extra 5 minutes that I needed to make sure I drive the point in, right? And I just want to say thank you. What you going to do next week? Why? Next week, I want you to bring a friend. Why? Because we have an agenda for you guys this whole month. This month is about, we're going to teach you how to wait, right? But the waiting the right way. So next week, please bring a friend. And if you liked it, go ahead and like the message. And if you love the message, go ahead and share today's broadcast, right? All right? And also, 2 more things. I want you to subscribe to our Facebook page, all right? It's at Olive Branch Church Youth. One more time, subscribe to our Facebook page at Olive Branch Church Youth. And last but not least, subscribe to our YouTube channel at OBC TV Youth. One more time, the YouTube channel is at OBC TV Youth. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I appreciate it. See you guys next week. Woo! Ow!
Thanks for joining us for today's Youth Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's lesson from the Vineyard at Olive Branch Church, where Dr. Vincent L. Windrow Sr. is the senior pastor. For more information, visit our website at www.olivebranchchurch.org/youth or contact us at 615-941-1268. Remember to represent Jesus this week. We'll see you next time.